Hello, welcome back to this mini-series. Hopefully you're enjoying it. This mini-series, we are creating a Python panel for a tool, for a specific tool. Can be for any tool, really. Alright, so hopefully you watched the previous parts, so you know what's happening on this one. If you haven't, just look at the channel, the path should be there. This is part 3. And in part 3, we're gonna take what we did in part 1. We just did the basic setup. Part 2, we just externalized or took the code and put it outside of Houdini on a proper class. In this class, we're gonna take, in this video, we're gonna take the actual elements and build them in Qt Designer and build the actual interface that we're gonna do. So this is gonna be really fun because we can build whatever we want here in this part. I just built a simple interface for this just to show you, get you started and get your gears moving and get you thinking about ideas, but you can just make whatever. It's really just infinite whatever you can do here. It's great because it gets you out of the I guess the limit of what you can do in an HDA regularly in Houdini. So it's great to think about like that. Like think about that you can do more things than just the regular interface that you can create in an HDA. And if you're not gonna do more than that, then you shouldn't really go this route because it's a little bit more complex, a little bit more involved. So if you're going to need a different interface, something that you can do in Houdini, is when you get to this. And we're gonna see right now in Qt Designer how we can just basically do anything we like. Alright, hope you enjoyed this. Let's go to the lesson. Okay, welcome back. So let's just remember what we did in the previous part. We moved our code from code that we have here in the tool, in the Py panel. We moved it outside to this module here that we created, which is basically here on our Houdini user folder inside Python 0.7 libs. And then we created this folder there, this module with this code, which is this code that we created right here. Which now, okay, if we save this and just edit this, save this, we don't really need this window open anymore. We can just accept that and just refresh here. You can see this is just doing that. If we add that 3 times, you can see we have just one button because this is just a copy of it. But we can say maybe add like a label here as well. Let's add a label here to say Qt widget .q label. Just say something. Mix window asset. Save that. Reload. Now we have a label as well. We can put the label at the top, maybe. Refresh. See, we have a label and then we have a button, right? So this is what I was talking about. This is just a stacked this QB box layout. This is a vertical stack that is just stacking stuff on top. But today we're gonna create our own layout, and for that we're gonna need something called Qt Designer. So Designer is this tool. It's let me close that. So this is this tool right here. So Designer is a tool for just creating interfaces. If you don't have Designer, you can also find this in Qt Creator, but there is an installation for just Qt Designer. If you're on Windows, that's pretty simple to do. If you are on Windows, in Linux, it's very simple to just get Qt Designer from the repos or wherever you get your programs. But in Windows, there is you need to find it online. There is one. Qt Creator. Hey you, it's me again. Just a quick interruption. If you're enjoying the content here in the channel, if you enjoy the content, if we have helped you in some way please give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. This will help us reach more people and help more people figure out this crazy world of Houdini. So please just like and subscribe if you can. Now back to your tutorial. Bye. Alright, here it is. Took me a while to find this again, but this is the just try to see this website here, Qt Designer download. I will include this website in the notes under the video, so you can download it. But there's a Windows and a Mac version here. This is the one you could be using if you just want to download this. It's pretty simple to use, and it's you don't need much stuff for this. It's not the most recent version, but it's fine. It has everything you need. All right, so let's go now to the Qt Designer here, and I'm gonna create a new. Actually, it's asking me here on the other side what I want to create. So I'm gonna create a widget. I'm just gonna say create, and then I'm gonna make this bigger. And then here you can just add all this stuff from the side. This is all the widgets there are here. So you can see, we can even search here for a button. See, you can add a button there. And then you can press, here you can press Ctrl R to run it. And you can see it's running now. And this is basically the preview of how the window will look. You can resize it and whatever, but you have the button there and click it. What we're going to do is actually go back to Houdini. We're going to use an image for this. I already have an image, so I'm going to use the image that I have for the previous version of this that I did. So I don't have to create another image. But I just took a screenshot of the viewport here. You can see this is the image that I'm going to use. I'm going to put this image, copy this image, and put it here where my script is. I'm going to put everything here and go back to Designer. To add an image, I'm just gonna use a label. Actually, this is kind of a little hack, but there's a common hack that we all do. So we have a label, and the label has a Pixmap section here. You can just click on it, click this, and then go back here to the Pixmap section and click these little three buttons. Actually, no, this little. Sorry, let me cancel that because it's on the other. This little down arrow here, and then choose File. Here, it's option. So now we can go to whatever we want to get this image from. In my case, it's on Houdini folder, PyLibs, window acetate window, and open that. You can see now this looks weird, but if we make this bigger, you can see it's actually containing the image. So let's make this window bigger. We're not gonna make this super intelligent. It's not gonna be a resizable window for this, but it's gonna contain all we need. So I'm gonna put this at the corner there. You can even set your where this is. Gonna make the window smaller, and that's it. And here in this section here, you have your widgets you are creating. I'm gonna double click here on the label, and I'm gonna call this image, so I can actually recall that later from the code. So here on the side, I'm gonna put some other things. You can play with here with all the stuff that is available, and you can make a more interesting interface. In my case, I'm just gonna put horizontal slider and a vertical slider on the sides. Just scale it to fit the image like this, and this, and I'm gonna put another vertical one for opening the window here. I'm gonna put it here. This is gonna be for opening this window. Now you can see these guys don't have this little scroll spinner that I added here. So let's add those. So that is called a spin box here. You can see there's a spin box. Let's put it there. And then you can add another one. Where is it? Spin box. Add over one here. And then another down here. So there we go. We have our spin boxes and all that stuff. It will be nice if we name all this stuff. For now, we're not going to worry about naming, but what we are going to do is just press Ctrl R, and you can see the preview of this. We can actually grab this and move it. You can see these guys are not connected, which is this is the next part we're gonna do. Connect these two guys together so they know what's happening. You can see this guy works, etc. Houdini is also gonna apply its own default theme for these sliders when we run it in Houdini. Right now you can see it's using my Linux theme for this, so it looks like the theme I have in Linux, but it's gonna look like a Houdini theme in Houdini, so it's gonna integrate correctly. So now we have that. Let's save this because we have right now haven't saved it. Let's go here to same place and let's go. I'm gonna call this window. Save that. There we go. So we have that. If we take a look at the folder, you can see now we have our script. This is the compiled version of script. This is the script. We have the UI, which is the file we just saved, and we have the image there. We can even open the code. Let's see, where is my code? In case I have several editors open. And if we open here, you can see we have that UI here, and we can actually, this is an XML file just defining what is happening on this file. And we can even see here the image that it's trying to load, which is not going to work correctly in Houdini, and we're going to fix that later. But for now, we're just going to leave it like that. You can see just an XML file just generates that. This is basically just a graphical interface for adding or organizing the asset there. But now we have that, and then we want to, of course, load it in Houdini, right? But right now, let's go here, refresh, we have this. All right, so now how do we load that into Houdini? Because we want to load it, our very nice custom UI that we did. So what we need is this library here, this Qt UI tools. You can see that's why it's called UI tool, because it loads the UI files. So let's go here to this section, and let's say, let's create a section for the loader or UI loader, could be called UI loader. And then this is we're gonna create a variable called loader, which is gonna say Qt UI tools that QUI loader. That's what I want to create in that loader. And then we're gonna create a local variable. It's gonna be the self UI. It's a local variable for this class, and this is gonna contain that this file. Basically, we're gonna load this file into this variable here. So the way we do that is we use the loader, then say load, the load function for that guy, and then we need to tell this the path. If we just say load the window.ui file, you would think that this script it's just there on the same folder with this. And if we try that and then we go to Houdini, let me just do this and reload here, you can see this is going to complain. This is could not find the file. Basically, it's just like, but I don't know, it's saying line 16. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't find that file. Because yes, it will find it if we run it here in the system, but we're running in the embedded Python interpreter that is in Houdini, so it's not the same path. You know, it's now we are inside Houdini and the paths are different, etc. So what I do, my trick that I do is I create a script path variable that contains the script folder, basically getting the path to this script here, which if you can see there in my pop-up there, tells you where that is. So what I do is just say script path, or let's follow the Python conventions, and then we need to import the OS module that comes with Python. That's regular Python stuff. We need to do this OS path. From the OS path, we get the dir name. From what? There is a special token here that we can use. We can call file like that, and this basically is gonna say, give me the directory of this file that we're running, this script, and this is going to contain that. So we can actually print that, print script path, and let's see what it prints here in Houdini. Let's reload. It's still going to error out, but you can see now I have the path to that folder, which means it's great because I have the path to this file and can just append whatever I need, right? So what I need to do here is just say script, use my script path plus this, like that. And that, now if we refresh, it works, yay! All right, but it's not showing the actual UI here, right? Because we just loaded that, but we haven't added it to the layout. And that's the next key part here. We just need to add it to the layout. Basically, it's that simple. This UI that we created, just add it exactly the same way as we added the other layout parts. Add widget, and then we add that layout self.ui like that. Refresh, and boom! Look at it. It's there. Woohoo! Let me minimize that. It is there. The sliders are there. It's a little bit crowded with this thing, so let's remove this this little label there and refresh. There we go. So now you can see it is here, but as I mentioned before, the image is not working. Again, why? Well, because this is trying to find it just relatively, because it's trying to say, well, this script is here, the image is in the same folder, which it doesn't really work like that. We could just copy the path to this and put it here and save this and reload, and it's gonna work. You can see it's working now. Yay! This does nothing at all, but the image works. But the thing is, if we say, let's say I want to go back to this guy, let's go back to Qt Designer here, and I want to modify something, because we are gonna actually modify something here. If we do that, if we modify this guy, let's say I'm gonna call this width slider, and then we save this. You can see here this already reverted to what it was, so it's gonna be we're gonna have to again go here and reload, and then it's missing. So we're gonna fix that in a second, but for now we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna fix something else, which is hooking these two parameters together, the sliders, and you can see the sliders and the spin boxes now have the Houdini theme. You can see they even have the gel on the cyan color that I added to those things, which is great. All right, so let's go to Designer again here. Let me move my code for a little bit, and then we're gonna do some Designer things that are better done here. You have these little buttons here, this toolbar of buttons. You can see right now we have this edit widgets mode that it's highlighted there in blue. The next one is the edit signals on slots, and that's the one that I want. There's other things like edit bodies, edit tab order, etc. But we're not gonna get in depth into that today. So let's just select this edit signals on slots and click on it. You can see all this stuff, it's grayed out. We can really move stuff from here or add, but this thing becomes red. So now we are in this editing mode. And what I want is actually to link these two widgets together, and this is the mode that we do it in. So if I select this guy, you can see it's red. If I click and drag, don't release yet until I go to this, it turns red. As you can see, there's an arrow there that pointing to that other widget. If I release now, it's gonna say, okay, what do you want to connect? So this side we have the widget slider, and this is the spin box. So I want to connect the value change. Whenever this slider's value is changed, I want to set the value of this guy, and I hit OK. So basically, again, and this value changes, I'm gonna set the value to this. So basically you're connecting these two things, and it even tells you here what's happening. If I press Ctrl R, you can see now if I move this, you can see now this is reflecting the value there. Awesome. Right? Pretty cool. And now we're gonna do it the other way around, because you can see if I scroll here, change the value, this doesn't change. So let's do it the other way around now. So now let's click on this guy, the scroll spin box there, and then point to this guy. So we're gonna do the connection the other way as well. So again, I'm gonna say in the spin box, when the value changes, and this int mode, not the string, in this int, we're gonna set the value as well. So basically doing the same thing backwards. Again, if we click, press Ctrl R, you can see this is working. And then if we move this, you can see this is working. But you can see this, the range of this is really big, goes from 0 to 99, which is, we're gonna fix that in a second. But then let's do the same for this guys over here. So let's just select this to this, value change to set value, and then from this to this, value change to set value. Same thing for this one, value change to set value, and from this to this, value change to set value. Okay, let's test this. This should all work. Yes, this works. This works. Yes, okay, this works. So now let's set these ranges a little bit better. So let's go back to this edit widgets mode here. Now we can select these guys, and if we select this slider and go down here, you can see this is the minimum and maximum here. I'm gonna put the minimum to 1 because I don't want 0 divisions. I always want to have like at least 1. And then the maximum is gonna be, let's say 10. I don't want to have a very big amount of these windows here. Let's do the same for this. Let's put it to 1 and a maximum to 10. And then we can also say, I'll select the width one again. And then we set the value here. We can set what value is gonna be set when you, let's say the default value. Let's put it to 5. You can see it moves to the center now. Do the same for this one. The value is gonna be 5. Over here I'm changing. So now this is gonna be set at 0. That's fine. But this is gonna be from 0 to 15, I think. So 0 to 15. And this one, actually, yeah, I did change it to be the minimum to 1. 0 to 15, and the value is gonna be 0. That's fine. So let's save this and press Ctrl R to test this. You can see the value is 5 here. Also, I have to set these guys to 5 as well, so they start the same value. You can see now I'm go from 1 to 10 because right now at the beginning these guys are at 0. So let's set the default value to those ones, to those spin boxes. This again has a value down here. You can see the value is 5. Let's put the default to 5. The default to 5. This is gonna start at 0. That's fine. That's fine. Save and reload. And then we have this. If we go to Houdini and reload, we have the same exact thing. You can see 5, 5. These go from 1 to 10, and this one goes from 1 to 10. This goes from 0 to 15. That's perfect. Perfect. All right. So now let's fix that image that we had there. And I think that's the last thing we're gonna do for this lesson. So let's go and do it in code, basically. So it's gonna introduce how are we going to find or select basically those widgets from the code there. So remember that we did name this image here. This image we added, we named it image there. That's the name that we give it, and it's of type QLabel. You can see the class is QLabel and the object is named image. So that's really important here. So we here, let's call this section find widgets, and we loaded this UI in this interface, right? In this variable here. So what we're gonna do is let's create a self image variable for this class. Then we're gonna say self in the self.ui find child. So this function is gonna find a child of this UI, and you can see, even if you press this, click on this, open it, you can find these guys here. If I just say actually here it is, it's a widget called of class QLabel and the name is image, right? So this is what I'm gonna this information I need actually to pass it to this guy, this find child node. It needs what type of what class of object you're looking for, qt widgets dot QLabel, right? And then the name is image. So this is what you need, the class and the type of it. So you can see if I do that, let's just print self.image, and let's reloading Houdini. You can see it finds that label there. So we found it. So now let's just set the image to it. Okay, so let's don't do that. So let's just say set image, if I can type. So to set the image is pretty simple. Self image dot set the pix map, just like we did on creator here. See, if we go here, we set the pix map here, right? We're gonna set it in codes here, which is set pix map, like that. This is a function, and then we pass the path to this, which is window.jpg. Again, this is not gonna work because it's not relative, but we already have the solution for this, right? We did this. We have the script path, which takes us to this folder, and then we can append this to this path. So just say script path append this. If we do that, of course, save and go to Houdini and reload, look at that, we have the image. So now this image is not going to disappear. If we change something in the code, it's going to be there and it's going to work, right? All right, so I think this is going to be it for today. And in the next part, we're going to take this interface and actually connect it, give it the functionality to control this node here. Okay, for today, that's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoy this, you learn a few things, and I will see you in the next part.